Hey Scratchers! Have you ever wanted to create a magical glowing trail that follows your mouse, along with floating particles for an extra dreamy effect? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to make it, step by step. This effect is perfect for games, animations, or just adding that extra wow factor to your Scratch projects. So let's jump right in! First, let's create our glowing trail effect. Open Scratch and create a new sprite. We'll draw a simple circle. Nothing too fancy, just a basic round shape. Now duplicate this costume and add a glowing effect using the brightness tool. Now we have two costumes. The first one is a normal circle without any glow. The second one is a glowing version that will give a smooth, bright effect to our trail. Now, let's make our sprite follow the mouse and create a glowing trail. To do this, go to the code section and drag in the When Green Flag Clicked block. This will ensure the script runs as soon as we start the project. Next, we want to make sure the sprite is visible, so add the Show block. Since we want the glowing effect, let's switch the costume to the second one, which has the glow. To prevent any unwanted leftover effects, we'll set the color effect to 0. This will ensure the sprite's colors reset at the beginning. Now, to create the fading effect, we'll use the Set Ghost Effect block and set it to 20. The ghost effect makes the sprite slightly transparent, which adds to the glowing illusion. To make the trail effect work, we need the sprite to continuously follow the mouse and create clones of itself. We'll use a Forever block for this. Inside the loop, add the Go to Mouse Pointer block so the sprite always moves with the cursor. Then add a Create Clone of Myself block, which will duplicate the sprite. This is what creates the glowing trail. Without this, the sprite would simply move with the mouse, but there wouldn't be a fading effect. To control the speed at which the clones appear, add a Wait 0.2 seconds block. This prevents the clones from spawning too fast. Now, when we run the script, we can see a glowing trail appearing behind the mouse. But right now, the clones don't disappear. They just stay there. Let's fix that next. First, we'll start with the When I Start as a Clone block. This tells Scratch what should happen when each clone is created. Just like before, we want the clone to be visible, so we add the Show block. To make sure it starts with a fresh appearance, we reset both the color effect and ghost effect to 0. Now, instead of the glowing version, we switch the costume back to the normal circle costume. This makes the fading effect look more natural. To create the movement and fading, we use a Repeat 10 loop. Inside this loop, we'll adjust the clone's position based on where the mouse is. If the mouse's Y position is greater than 0, the clone will move up by 10 units. Otherwise, it will move down by 10. This makes the trail feel more dynamic. Similarly, if the mouse's X position is greater than 0, the clone will randomly move between -15 and 25 pixels. Otherwise, it will randomly move between -25 and 15 pixels. This makes each clone appear slightly different, preventing the effect from looking too uniform. To gradually fade out the clones, we increase the ghost effect by 10 each time. This makes them slowly disappear. To add a color changing effect, we also increase the color effect by 5. Since we want this transition to be extremely smooth, we add a tiny delay. Finally, we delete the clone after the loop ends. This prevents them from piling up endlessly on the screen. Now, if we run the script, our glowing trail moves naturally, fades away smoothly, and looks super cool. To take our animation to the next level, let's add some floating particles in the background. These will rise from the bottom of the screen, adding to the magical effect. First, create a new sprite and draw a small glowing circle. Name this sprite Particles. Since we don't want the particles to be visible right when the project starts, we add a When Green Flag Clicked block, followed by a Hide block. This ensures the main sprite stays hidden at first. To position the particles off-screen, we use the Go to X, 0, Y, -3000 block. This means they will start far below the screen. Now, we need a forever loop to continuously create new particles. Inside this loop, we add a Create Clone of Myself block, so new particles are generated over time. To space them out, we add a Wait 0.1 seconds block. Now, let's make the particles float up and fade out as they move. For this, we need the When I Start as a Clone block. Since the particles are hidden at first, we add a Show block to make them visible when they spawn. Next, to give each particle a unique look, we reset its color effect and adjust the brightness to -50, making them slightly dimmer. To ensure the particles appear at different positions, we use a Set X to pick random -240 to 240 block. This makes them appear randomly across the screen width. Now, to make them rise, we add a repeat 45 loop. Inside this loop, we add a Change Y by 10 block to move the particles upward. To create the fading effect, we use the Change Ghost effect by 3 block. This gradually makes them disappear as they rise. For an extra glowing effect, we also increase the color effect by 5. Once the loop ends, the clone is deleted. Now, when we run the project, we see beautiful floating particles gently rising in the background, making the effect look even more magical. All right, let's put everything together and see how it looks. If you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment on what you'd like to see next. I'll see you in the next video. Happy coding!